Alright, I've got the Qidi Maule M7 out here today, and as you can see, I've replaced the stock prop. The stock prop, I believe, is a 5045 two-blade bullnose prop. And if memory serves me correctly, this is a Gemfan Hurricane 5040 three-blade non-bullnose prop. So I want to test it out and see what kind of power we get out of that prop. It certainly looks a lot better, doesn't it? And it's red like the plane. So I also installed a Radiolink R8FM SBUS PPM receiver, and I have it bound up to the TX16S. Now, everything is working on it as far as, you know, the fully stabilized mode, and then I don't know if it's like 3D mode where it does just looks like it just does wind mitigation. I tried launching it earlier in fully stabilized mode, and it just wanted to nose down on me. So I tried recalibrating, you know, the internal gyro, and I couldn't get it to recalibrate. So I'm just going to launch it in that center mode, which is like a 3D mode, a wind mitigation mode. It looks like all it does is wind mitigation. You know, if you move the plane around after the gyro is activated, it looks like it's just a wind mitigation mode. So let's go ahead and connect the battery. Okay, let's make sure we're working here. I've got it in the center position. Plenty of aileron. I left my aileron linkage the way it was. Even, you know, it was pretty darn twitchy with the stock transmitter. But we'll see how it works out with the TX16S. TX16S should be able to smooth that out. I added quite a bit of expo to it. So let's get out here and launch and see what kind of flight we can get on it with the TX16S. I haven't had a chance to tune it yet, but we'll see. Alright, launching. Well, it took off nice and smooth. Oh yeah, that definitely smoothed out the ailerons. I'm initiating some rudder here for the turns. This plane seems to like some rudder to make coordinated turns. That looks pretty smooth, doesn't it? Okay, let's see if we can let's come back through here and see if we can do a roll with it. See what kind of movement I'm getting out of it now. Okay. Ready for a roll? Oh, well, that looks pretty good. I'll lose a little altitude. Not bad, not bad at all. Okay, so I got a little altitude because first time out, right? Let's see. Well, we got a half a loop out of it. Let's try that again. I don't know if it's added any power to it, you know, with that three-blade prop, that 5040 three-blade. Oh, that was much better. I hope I got that in frame. But it certainly has just as much power as it had. Let's try that again. I'll try to do it further out so you can actually see it. That was pretty unstable there. It did not like that at all. Okay, so I want to try something else. You don't have a lot of power with this plane with the 1S brushless power system. So I'm going to get some altitude here and make kind of a dive with it, and then pull up and see if we got that was a very good hammerhead. It just stalled at the top, so I just let it fall through. I think I like that prop. You know, it doesn't seem like it has any more power than it had, you know, with the stock prop, but with it not being a bullnose prop, I don't know, you might be able to, it might be a little more efficient, I don't know. My experience with bench testing the bullnose props is they put out a little more thrust, you know, a bullnose prop compared to a non-bullnose prop with the same number of blades, but they also pull more amps. So I thought maybe a 3-blade non-bullnose prop that had a little less pitch, because this is a 5040 and the stock was a 5045, it might be able to spin it a little bit faster. I can't really tell. I can't really tell a difference in the power. I got my timer set for 4.5 minutes because I don't know how efficient it will be. But yeah, the TX16S certainly makes this plane much smoother on the controls than with the stock transmitter. And of course, it's always going to be that way. The ready-to-fly transmitters are just not going to have the capability or the smoothness on the controls, on the sticks, as, you know, a hobby-grade transmitter like this TX16S. Okay, so let's go back around. We've had it in the air for 4.5 minutes. So let's come back around and see if we can land it. I don't have any company at the moment. I can't put it in fully stabilized mode because it wants to nose down on me for some reason. So let's see. Ba-boom! Okay, so yeah, you know, flying it with the TX16S, it's a much better experience. I like that prop. I like the look of it. I think it's a little quieter than the stock prop too. It doesn't seem to me like it is. It doesn't seem to me like it's giving it any more power. If it is, it's not noticeable. But let me see. I had it in the air for 4 minutes and 58 seconds. So it's 28 seconds over, and I had my timer set for 4.5 minutes. So I'm just curious. I want to pull the battery and put a multimeter on it just to see. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, but I'll call out the number. This is a 1S 500 milliamp hour LiPo. I think it's the LiPo that came with it. Comes with the 1S 500 milliamp hour. I have no idea what the C rating on those are, if they're providing enough amps. You know, 500 milliamp hour LiPo, that's pretty small. Alright, I will try to look down so that you guys can see the number on this, but okay, can you guys see that? It's 3.8 volts. So I had it in the air almost 5 minutes. I still have 3.8 volts in the cell. A 7-minute flight. Not a 7-minute flight, flying it the way I was flying it. That's pretty respectable for a 1S brushless power system. I attached that SBUS receiver to that 5-volt port at the corner of the board. So there's 2 ports there. One is a 5-volt, one is a 3-volt. I don't know how much power that port is actually supplying. If you guys are looking for a fairly inexpensive, pretty nice little SBUS PPM receiver for this plane, so that you could fly it on a multi-protocol transmitter, I'll have a link to that receiver in the show notes. But it handled pretty well. I was pretty impressed with that. I would just like to have some more power with it, you know, so you could do really good, nice size loops, hammerheads, split S maneuvers, emblements, things like that, things that I like to do. But as far as just cruising around with it, it's perfectly fine. It felt very stable, just cruising around, and it was very smooth on the controls with the TX16S. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in the Tinkerz lab.